So you mentioned here that recently I started playing sniper whenever possible because it's fun, but I am honestly lost as to what to do in the mid game when the game is not going very well. It feels like I'm waiting for some good defensive fight opportunities, plus some of us to split push, but what really happens is just our team committing suicide. It's been happening so often that I'm pretty sure it's me who is fucking up really hard in some way I can identify. So I'm interested in some thoughts on this, plus anything else that I'm fucking up. So, based on my understanding in here, Copper, it seems like, what you call this, you're not outplaying the enemy. You're basically waiting for the enemy to commit mistakes and then win the game. Is that correct?
Right. Well, usually with sniper, I'm doing pretty well. I fuck up the other mid laner,
Mm-hmm.
and then I guess if the team is doing well, then we just take over the jungle, choke them out, and stuff. But if it's going badly, then I don't know what to do, where to be, to make it happen.
Okay. Just to repeat it, man, just to make sure that I got it right. So if things go bad, your team is going to steal your farm, and you don't have the confidence to make some calls or lead the way. Basically, you're just relying on the movement.
Yeah, I guess I don't usually speak at all. And
Okay. Ancient One. Okay, let me put up in here. Ancient One. What MMR is Ancient One, by the way?
3,800.
I'm sorry, Copper, but your voice is kind of cutting in and out, so I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, let me try and fix that.
It actually sounds better now. Maybe the microphone is far? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I'll be closer to the computer.
Okay.
Is this fine?
Yeah, it's actually better now. So maybe that's what happened.
I'll just speak up.
Okay. All right then. So, okay. Let's talk about your game in here, right? Aside from your comments earlier regarding the mid game, actually, do you have anything to share to me? Like any comments about the game? Like, what's your game plan?
Really heavy. Take it as it goes.
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out again.
I don't really have a game plan.
Oh, okay. So, what do you usually do when it comes to your games? Wait, is this a last pick? Oh no, it's not actually a last pick sniper. It's actually a first pick. So, you've mentioned that you don't have a game plan, or you don't usually have a game plan in a game. Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I try to get the enemy tier 1 if possible, defend my own. I usually don't like go to side lanes unless I can see some fight happening, so I usually keep a TP ready.
Reactive, okay. What else?
Probably, what I try to do most is like choke the enemy and take their jungle. That's what I'm trying to do the most of the time.
Okay. Alright. I'll just set up some expectations in here, Copper. This is what is going to happen, okay? I'll be throwing you questions, of course, just to reveal what are you thinking about the game. So in that way, we're going to learn the root cause of why you did such things. Let's say why you pushed top, why you push mid, why you push bottom, why you TP like this, you know? I'll be asking you questions like what is your thought processing, so we would know if it's a habit or it's just a miscalculation or something else, right? Maybe just in the heat of the moment and all of that. So yeah, and feel free to ask me any questions. And if I have some recommendations that you don't agree with, I'm open for discussion. I actually will appreciate if you're going to question me, like whatever statement I'm going to say, So in that sense, we are going to understand why we're doing this, what's the impact of this, and what's the game plan or how we should fix it. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. First thing that I've noticed in here, Copper, is you mentioned that you don't have a game plan when you play the game, and for me, that's actually the biggest problem when it comes to games. Um, if if you're going to your lane and then you don't know what you're supposed to do, how can you even know what you're going to do in the mid game? And what about the late game, right? Because in the laning stage itself, there's only a limited hero in the game that you're or in the lane that you're going to play. Let's say you're going to play mid. It's only going to be your hero against the enemy's hero, right? Only two heroes. So, that's why I would really recommend you starting from today. I want you, or we have to get some sort of or we have to formulate some game plan, like just basic ones. Let's say, are you supposed to play aggressive? Are you supposed to be defensive in this lane? Are you going? Do you have the advantage? Do you have the disadvantage? You know, just the simple ones, right? Nothing complicated. But the fact will remain
Yeah,
that.
I try to do this. Like if you have a Medusa or something, then
Mhm.
we
Alright.
can like drag the game out or something.
All right, because at least it's way better. When it comes to the game itself, it's going to feel natural. Like, yeah, this is expected. This is not expected, and then I'll be mad. You know, there's a difference between those things, right? Because you're planning ahead. So usually you will have the plan A, plan B, and then plan C, or even D, or maybe until Z, right? But at least you will not be frustrated if things don't go your way, right? Especially in Dota 2 when there's a lot of variables involved in the game. So it's a good habit. It's a good habit, Copper, that we have a game plan. That's actually the main difference between Immortal and then Divine players. I don't doubt the skills of Divine players or low Immortal players because they know how to press spells. They know how to play the matchup. They know how to deny and everything, right? The skills in there, they already have it. But the main difference is their mentality and then their game planning. That's the main difference. So when it comes to the higher or when it comes to the grind, it's more of a soft things or soft skills. And when it comes to the soft skills, I'm talking about game planning, decision making, map reading, map movements. And those are the things that we're going to discuss in this coaching session. And it's going to be really helpful regardless of the hero or the lane that you're going to play, Hopper.
Okay.
All right. Questions so far?
Not really.
Okay. So if I'm going to be the sniper in here in this game, what I will do is I will play aggressive against this Tinker. Because given the scenario that we have in here, if you're going to play passive like farming against the Tinker can easily kill you, right? And then how can you stop the Tinker from killing you? It's either there will be some stun to prevent the Tinker from going on you, because you alone cannot help yourself against Tinker. There's the laser, there's the missile, in which you're pretty low HP. So in my laning stage, if it's me, I'm going to play real aggressive against the Tinker, get my faster level 2, and then pressure him under tower. So you actually go for the headshot level 1, which is a physical damage, 40% chance. You can even go for shrapnel level 1, because the shrapnel will, or at least when you use the shrapnel, it's going to consume your mana right now, 279, right? And then you have the natural 0.8 mana. But right now, it's not being used because you took the passive level 1. Right?
Right.
And
I have a question on that actually. Because if I use shrapnel in lane, then the ranged creep usually gets into the range, and I don't really know to make it so I actually get Lazit against the hero.
Alright. I got you. Okay, regarding the shrapnel, it will naturally push up the lane. Which is correct. Which is, in some games, it's going to look bad. But let's take a look with the matchup. it's sniper versus tinker, right? So let's say if you're going to use the shrapnel right now at level 1, you will naturally push out the lane, right? Most likely, in 10 seconds, the tinker is going to play under tower. And do you think tinker will appreciate to play under tower? Like last
hates it.
hitting? Hmm?
He hates like last hitting on the tower, I think, and taking creep damage.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me, Copper? I didn't get it.
I think Tinker hates taking creep damage if he has like more creeps against him
Yes.
than he has
Right.
on his team.
Right. And then, what do you think is the first item of choice of Tinker in the lane?
Bottle.
Bottle. And is it expensive or it's cheap?
Yes, it's cheap if you get some last hits and saves money for it from the start.
Right. So, if we're going to play the shrapnel and then pressure the Tinker early, you will naturally force the Tinker to buy consumables. Let's say Salve or Tango, just for him to sustain in the lane, right? And if you manage to delay the bottle, that means he cannot afford to trade against you, right? Because you're a sniper, you will win against 1 versus 1 scenario, like attacking, right? And then you have the shrapnel, and then he's going to play under tower, and he will be conservative when it comes to playing aggressive because you are pressuring him, right? He needs to have the gold first for the bottle for the sustain, whereas you, on the other hand, you already have the tango, right? So let's say you go for shrapnel level 1, you're going to push out the lane, and then you're going to attack the Tinker under tower. Of course, you need to play around the crypt aggro, right? And since you're pressuring the Tinker hard enough, he got 2 choices. It's either buy consumables or farm until he got the bottle, right? And if he's going to farm until he got the bottle, you can actually notice that he is not sustaining in the lane. So what is it for you, right? You can easily play around the creeps. You can easily control the CS or the creep score, right? Because the Tinker is not playing in the lane because you're bullying him, right? So that's my point. If I'm going to play the sniper in this lane, of course, but I actually wonder what happened in this game, or in this lane in particular, what happened? Is that just kind of 50-50, or you win this lane?
I rewatched the replay like a while ago, and during the game I thought I played pretty badly. I usually win the game more, but I don't think it was that bad this time. So I guess 50-50.
In the lane?
Yeah, I think this Tinker gave me problems in the lane.
Problems in the lane, okay. I think you're talking about the mid game or the late game earlier, right?
No, this laning stage.
Yeah. Because when it comes to the game planning, or when it comes to the coaching, it's usually laning stage that we are going to stress out. Because in the mid game, if you perfectly executed those things in the early game, it's just going to be smooth, right? You will not have the problem. I mean, everyone actually knows how to play with advantage, right? Everyone knows how to play with advantage. But the question is, how can you get those advantage? And how can you use that advantage to further get ahead, right? And that's where the laning prowess or laning stage will start, right? Every little details, every little advantage that you get, you need to pile it up, transition. Okay? So yeah. We're going to play the laning stage in here, Copper. I wonder if you have any questions for me. Regarding at least how the lane works. Like the Tinker, of course, he's going to rush bottle, right? And one thing that I've noticed as well is that you didn't even check his items, right? Even though you have Observer Ward, even though you're not doing right now, you're not doing anything right now. Let me push it in here, right? I will recommend to you, Copper, that whenever you lane something like this, you have to check the items of the enemy, so you would know if they have sustain, or you would know what are they going to build, right? So here, you're still blocking, all right? And then here, you have so much time, right? You have so much time to actually check the item of the Tinker. I mean, you don't want to
point.
attack this melee creep right now and then make him low, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to say something? I thought you're.
No, really, I was just saying it was a good point about not checking the
Mhm.
items when I have the time.
Yeah. So here, as you can see, you're actually pushing. The creep blocking of the Tinker, he intentionally let one creep to be far forward, and that means he wants you to kill all of the creeps pretty soon, right? But I don't think that Tinker will actually realize this thing that he's doing, because if you actually push this lane and then you force the Tinker to play under tower, it's actually pretty advantageous to you, right? The Tinker cannot really
Okay,
fight you.
So he fucked up by doing that.
Yep. And the other thing that you are doing in fuck, look at here, 3 creeps under tower and then no pressure. Right? That's something that I don't want to see actually, because your advantage is actually not utilized in here. Let's go back.
Okay, so I should let the melee creep be and actually focus on hitting the Tinker here.
Yep, here, and creep aggro, and then here, creep aggro. Did you notice that? Your creep aggroing? See it here.
Yeah.
Count how many times you get attacked by the Tinker. 1, 2, 2 times. 2 times only, right? But look at the HP. You're 500 almost, and then the guy is like 500 as well. You're actually winning the trade because you managed to attack him like 4 times or 5. But I'm sure that you managed to hit the Tinker more than his attacks to you, right? We can agree to that. You hit more the Tinker. But the problem is your creep aggro. You took unnecessary damage. Let's go back in here. Unnecessary damage. You need to be careful about your creep aggroing. That actually force you to use your tango immediately, if you notice. Here, see it here, attack, and then the creeps attacking you. And then
if
here.
You stop here. If you stop here, where would you actually pull like the enemy melee creeps so it makes sense?
Which one? Are we talking to the sniper or to the Tinker?
As me, the sniper. Because I'm taking melee creep damage here, but I don't know what I should have done instead of that with the creep aggro.
Here, let's go back in here. I think this is the one of the opportunity right here. So here, yeah, you draw the aggro, right? And then you are going to reset. See it here, you're going to reset, and then here, what will happen is that you're going to close the gap to the Tinker, and then you're going to issue the attack, in which you are close, or you are within the range of the creep aggro, right? Including the range and then the melees. So the solution that I could think of in here, Copper, or I'll throw you a question. Are you familiar with the creep aggro range?
Yes.
Okay. So here, given at this point, like your camera, if you issue the attack right now, which is, I'm sure it's outside of the creep aggro of the range creep and then melee creeps, right? You will naturally come closer to the Tinker, and then you will start hitting the Tinker without drawing the aggro immediately, because you issue the attack outside.
Yeah, I used that. I didn't do it here, so I should have done that.
Yeah. And then see it here, you're too close right now, and then you issue the attack, and naturally the creeps are going to attack you. See it there?
Okay. Yep.
You took so much unnecessary damage. Get lasered, and then another creep aggro, right? And just to mind you as well, the Tinker doesn't have tango or anything, and you have consumed 1 tango already, and you're not going to rush bottle. So meaning there's no upcoming sustain for your lane, right? And if you're going to buy sustain, of course, that's your gold going down the drain. So be careful about it next time.
Okay.
See it here. That's a good aggro for sure. But again, you still decided to attack the Tinker. Just I think your intention in here is pull the melee crypts towards you, right? But you ended up attacking the Tinker. Yep, and then you are being harassed again, and then you are doing it again. Yeah, so much unnecessary damage, and then you're going to lose the fight, and then Tinker is actually threatening you, right? Because you even go to the take aim, the skill point, skill leveling, right? Denied, but then again you're gonna fight the Tinker. Now you're playing defensive, right? And you're out of tangle, but the Tinker is pretty good in good spot because he can go for laser and then missile, right? You cannot fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it goes. Question so far?
I just like making sure if I understand correctly, I should pull the melee creep like to my side, and then try to hit Tinker without getting the creeps aggroed on me.
Yes, it's actually a good plan. Or you can just draw the aggro of those melee creeps, and then reset, and then go again. All right.
Okay.
You can do the aggro, right? You can draw the creeps without taking damage, right? See it here. You're taking damage again because the creeps are walking towards you, and then you're ranged, right? You can kite them, right? It's yeah. As we can see in here, there's a lot of damage that you took just from tanking the creeps, and then now he got bottle, and then you're losing the lane.
Yeah.
So yeah. Again, regarding with my prediction earlier, you are not supposed to lose this lane that hard. I mean, sure, you think you did well in the lane, but in my eyes, this is a lost lane. And let's take a look with the net worth in here. As we can see, 1.2, 1.3k, 1.6, 300 difference already. And then the Tinker is pretty much okay because he got the bottle already, right? He can just go in here, refill the bottle, get the runes maybe, and he is fine. But you have to buy consumables, right? Just to stay in the lane. And that's something you don't want as a mid, because the consumables are golds as well, right? How can you transition to the mid game if you don't have the items, right? It's delaying your item timing, right? Because that's not a real item. It's consumable, yeah. Deny. Okay. So now you're going to play recovery in here, right? You're going to play recovery. I don't think you will be able to kill the sniper. I mean the Tinker. And then now you're actually doing the crypt blocking. Okay. There's actually options in here that we can take copper. The first option is something that you did, which is pushing out the lane. What do you think is the other options that you can think of? If you can change the your decision at this point, what do you think it will be and why?
I'm not sure I understand the question right now.
Okay, it's fine. It's let me repeat it for you. Okay, so there are multiple plays in this scenario that we can discuss, and then we're going to rate it. Which one is better? Which one is good? Which one is bad? Okay. So I actually want you to think about possible options that you can do at this point before you even use the shrapnel. What do you think is the other play that you can do at this point? I'll give you a clue. Look at the timer.
I can take the runes and come back.
Okay, that's a good one. What else?
I can like shrapnel the creeps and make sure he has to stay in lane while I get the runes. after.
Okay. That's a good one as well. Anything else?
Maybe stack the easy camp.
Second easy camp, and then what? Go for the ruins, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's that's all of the options that we have in here. Or maybe we missed something. Let's go back in here. 330, right? And we know that there is bottle on the tinker. So here, you're going to do this, and then this is actually I think you're going to deward in here, the observer ward that you've noticed, and then after dewarding, this is the next play. You're going to block the creeps, getting the items, and you're going to shrapnel. Yeah. And then you're going to push out the lane, so you can get the runes, and then the tinker cannot abandon it because there's some creeps in there. And since the tinker noticed that you are going to the bottom side of the map, he just took the top. Right? So here, since the tinker is out of position right now, you can actually punish him. But you cannot punish because you are too slow. So let's go back in here. You're pushing out the lane. What do you think is the other option that we missed? If it's me, I can actually play with the glyph and then bully the tinker inside.
Okay.
Because this is one thing again that we need. I'm sorry, Copper, to cut you off. Yeah, go ahead, please.
You meant like activate the glyph and then hit him while he's under tower?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is the other problem of your gameplay, Copper, because you don't really check the status of the enemy, right? I haven't seen you check the status of the enemy so far. 4 minutes, right? So if you actually check the status of the tinker, you would notice that 1, he doesn't have bottle charge. 2, he can only throw 1 spell at you. And then 3, he got Fairy Fire. And then that's it. Right? But we don't have those info because we're not even looking at him that way.
Okay.
Right? So if we gather those info, we can use it to our advantage, and then we can pressure the tinker. Right? Because the tinker, what's the power spike of tinker? Blink Dagger, right? Rearm and then Blink Dagger. But how can we stop the tinker from getting those timing? So we have to bully the tinker early on, right? He's not going to buy boots as well. And you will have the advantage if the guy doesn't have boots. Because you're pretty slow as well, right? So, the other play that we missed to talk about is, trying to look to the tinker, the mana, the item, bottle 0 charge, and then Fairy Fire, and then the glyph. Pressure the guy. Because what will happen is, if you are going to play under tower, let's go for a free cam right here real quick, so we can see it. What will happen in here, if you try to play aggressive, you can keep on attacking this guy, and then go for a shrapnel, right? And then how many charge you have with the shrapnel? 1, and then you'll have another shrapnel charge, right? So if you actually pressure the tinker, most likely his reaction is going to be here, right?
Okay.
Behind the tower. And what is it for you? Right? If it's behind the tower, you can easily take both. Right? He will not have any refill on the bottle. The best thing about your sniper is actually the range, right? You have to abuse it, and you have Fairy Fire as well. And then here, you actually decided to go for the for this play, and then you cannot kill him or chase him because you're pretty late, right? So yeah, just imagine that one play that you can actually make. It will really make a difference in this laning stage, because now, since he managed to sustain himself, he managed to get the bottle, the charges, and most likely, he will be fine until he gets level 6 in this lane. He will not die, right? Because he got the sustain already. So that's first thing that we can take advantage of. And the second thing as well is the baiting the enemy. here at this point, here. All right, so let's play it real quick. So here, instead of baiting the enemy means forcing the enemy to commit mistakes. So if you're going to play like this, like move towards the bottom rune, and then you've noticed that the Tinker is going top, you immediately stop committing to the bottom rune and then chase him. So he will be forced to play under tower again. Just keep on baiting him, like which rune he's going to take, and then kill him if ever that he's going to commit on it. So yeah, here
you do the baiting thing only when you have an advantage, right? Because otherwise.
I mean, you definitely have advantage right now. Copper, you definitely have the advantage right now. It's just we don't realize it because we don't have those info that I mentioned earlier, which is the mana of this guy, the bottom charges of this guy, and then the creeps under tower, and then the glyph.
Right, yeah.
Those small details. So yeah, I think you're the one as well that popped the glyph, or maybe I missed it. But let's take a look. Your cursor. Yeah, you actually pop it too. Why? Right?
I thought I could make him stay under the tower while sitting and take both of the runes, but your idea about actually pressuring him while he's on the tower, so I can take both runes after is way better.
After you scare him away, right? Like here, force him to play way too defensive. Yeah, that's actually one of the play that you can take advantage. The other good play is sack the small camp and then go for the runes, but the Tinker will notice, and then the Tinker can easily take the bottom rune, which it's not doing any pressure, right? You have the advantage of the lineup or the draft or the laning, and we need to take advantage of it, right? Because not every time the enemy or the lane is not going to be in your advantage, right? Sometimes you are going to lose a matchup. Sometimes you're going to win the matchup. So yeah, that's my point.
Okay, I have a question. When should you then stack the small camp? Because I sometimes think after the game that maybe I should have done that to get more farm, but I never actually get time to do it. When is like the best situation you can do the stacking thing?
It depends on the matchup, Copper. Let's say the matchup is something, you have the disadvantage in the lane. So what are the heroes that can actually bully you outside of the lane? Maybe Queen, right? Queen of Pain with the Shadow Strike build. Viper, right? Huskar, yeah. Those are the guys that can easily win the lane. Maybe Monkey King as well. And then you play Ember, let's say. But yeah, generally you're going to stack your own small camp and then farm it if you can actually clear it as well, and you have the disadvantage in the lane. Because if you have the disadvantage, go ahead.
No, I just was saying it was good.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to have ask question. It's fine. All right. So going back. Generally, you're going to play with your own jungle if you have, or if you cannot dominate the lane. If you're going to play with disadvantage, right? Because if you have the advantage, you should be playing the lane. You should be pressuring the enemy. You should be killing him. You should be farming the enemy's camp. If you have the advantage, right? So if you don't have the advantage, play safe. Go to your own camp, push out the lane quickly, and then farm jungle. But if you have the advantage, like here, like with the sniper and then Tinker, you should be pressuring the Tinker. You should be pushing out the lane. You should be farming his own small camp in here, right? Because what the Tinker can do about you? Nothing, right? Because you're still strong. You're still stronger than him. The Tinker will be able to fight you maybe when he got the spells, and then the rearm or maybe the blink dagger, right? So yeah, that's the importance of the game planning, Copper, because you're going to ask yourself: are you supposed to play defensive? Are you supposed to play aggressive in the lane? Are you going to win the lane? Are you going to lose the lane or draw the lane? Right? So it's a really good practice. It's really simple, but it's not that easy when it comes to game plan and those laning stage. It's really a case-to-case basis, man. Really case-to-case basis. Sometimes supports are going to rotate a lot, but in this case, like look at the enemy side, they have Trent and then Omni Knight, not the greatest roamer or a gang hero, right? So there's no way that it's going to happen, or a small chance that it's going to happen, maybe with TP rotations. But if the enemy supports will TP to defend their mid that you are killing, it's still space because the side lanes will be less heroes, and it's going to be 2 versus 1 for your teammates. So yeah, that's how it goes. Question so far. Is it clear, Copper, or you?
Yeah, you're right. You make some really good points. Very easily understood.
Okay. Alright, so if you don't have a question, let's proceed with your game.
I don't really have any questions right now.
Okay, cool. See here, the Tinker is actually pushing out the lane because he's afraid of you. He wants to get level 6 and then start farming jungle. And then you get faster level 6, assassinate, just casual harassment, right? But again, you're controlling the lane. You're not using the catapult wave right now. So what's the yeah, regarding what I've mentioned, if you're going to push out the lane, or if you're not going to push out the lane, you will not be able to accelerate your farm as well, right? You could have pushed this one out, because right now you're just letting the Tinker farm in his own jungle.
Right, but if I push it out and like farm a jungle camp, doesn't it make it so he has to come back and then he gets his own farm as well? Then it like
you can just kill him.
worse. Okay.
Right? It's pretty simple, right? Just kill him if it's going back. Do you think the Tinker can fight you right now?
I guess not, if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Tinker can fight you. He's so weak. He's totally reliant on his spells, right? And you, on the other hand, you're actually strong. Because you have the stun as well, like mini stun in here, you have the slow, you have the range. What can you do, right? So
would you say that a hero having to push out the lane and then go farm the easy camp is mostly reserved for heroes that are in at disadvantage in the lane? If I understand this correctly, or
okay. Gotcha. Regarding that question, it's not applicable in this lane or in this match in particular, because what will happen, Copper, is if you push out your lane and then you farm your own small camp, it's just going to let the Tinker freely farm as well. He should be afraid of his life, as Tinker. So it is applicable to matchups where it's going to be a draw or you're going to lose the lane. So let's say you're going to play against maybe Viper or Huskar. Right? You don't want to stay in the lane because you'll get bullied. You'll get killed. You get harassed, right? So that's the situation right now of the Tinker. He don't want to be bullied. That's why he's playing so defensive, and you have to capitalize on it. The Tinker cannot protect himself.
okay.
And look at the CS chart, right? You're totally dominating, right? That's how strong you are in the lane. So yeah, it's actually fine if you're going to push out the lane and then farm the enemy camp. It's totally fine if that's the other play. But if you're going to farm your own camp, that's not a good thing. But the problem with that suggestion, Copper, if you're going to push out the lane and then you're going to farm their camp, especially during nighttime, you might get punished by rotations from supports. So you have to be mindful about the map as well.
Right.
Cool?
Yeah.
Questions?
No.
Okay, so let's go back in here. I think this is actually pretty interesting. So here, again, you are just controlling the lane again. Something that I don't like, right? Especially about 6 minutes.
I should be pushing it out and pulling him and taking small camp. And
Yes, it's a good play. It's a good play, actually. Or you can just try to kill him under tower if you didn't deny those creeps. Because one thing for sure, if the Tinker is pretty low, that means he got no more ball charge, right? You don't want to buy Tango just to sustain himself. And then now you got the Illusion Rune, but you don't have the mana. And yeah, the Tinker got level 6. And he's fine. So, since it's level 6, he will not be afraid of you anymore. He will never be the same Tinker anymore. Right? And then here, even if you try to bully him, he's just going to leave. And yeah, I think at this point, Copper, it's just going to be a draw. You will not be able to take advantage of your strength like this, and you cannot push your advantage further because he reached the level 6, and then you never took the small camp, and then he's just harassing you with the missiles. And please buy your own ward as well. It's free. At least you will scout the Tinker's movement, or maybe the runes as well, since it's really important for mid, right? So yeah.
I have a question. If I did everything correctly and won the lane, he's gonna get level 6 eventually anyway. So how does it change what I do in lane?
If you do everything correctly, most likely you will have the experience advantage, like level advantage, in the lane, and you're going to delay his net worth. Instead of 3.1 on the Tinker, maybe lesser than that. Maybe he will not get the 1k gold in the bank, and maybe you could delay the Blink Dagger further. Because the Tinker only needs Blink Dagger to play the game, right? He will be able to farm once he got the Blink Dagger. So that's something that's the power spike that we need to prevent. Aside from the bottle, remember the early laning stage, like the starting items and all that. Prevent the bottle first, and then same effect with the Blink Dagger. But the Blink Dagger is a different type of beast, because once the Tinker gets Blink Dagger, he can help the guys or his team to kill someone in the map, right? But when it comes to the bottle, it's more of a sustain against you. So, yeah. Does that make sense, Copper? If you just if you play aggressive, it will delay all of his items, and that means for the mid game, he will not be able to have an impact because he is playing the recovery. Right? So, yeah.
Very good point.
Questions so far? All good. Questions?
No.
Okay. Feel free to ask me questions, Copper. Okay?
Yeah.
This is our time. Don't worry about it. And yeah, you purchased the wards. You actually spent some time into scouting which area has been warded, and then now you're actually going for TP, and then you're pretty late because you still go for the runes. But what if you already scouted the runes, and then you just immediately go to the top lane because it's only a regen rune, right? And then now you TP'd in here, you're stuck to the top lane.
Yeah, that was a fuck up.
Yeah, and then you are sacrificing your farm because you rotated. And then the Venomancer, of course, don't want it. He will try to contest because it's a core as well. And then you're sharing experience. Whereas earlier in the mid lane, you are getting the solo experience and solo farm. Right? So, yeah, and then now you're spending some time rotating back to your lane. If you just stay in the lane, you can just farm the creep the lane, and then you can just transition to the camps, right? and the rate
Right.
of your farm will be much faster because there's no wasted time for your farm. So yeah. I actually have a question. When it comes to your itemization, do you follow any guide? Itemization, or is just a your own itemization?
Yeah, that's my own, but I didn't really know to build here.
Okay, that's a good thing. I thought you were following some guides with low MMR guides.
Usually like I don't usually build like 2 raid bands. I only get one. I build 2 if I think I have to fight early, establish some kind of early dominance.
Okay. So why you didn't fight in here? I mean, you're building up your stacks, right? To efficiently fight the Tinker, but it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and also you keep using this, and then it's actually slowing you with a chase. Yeah, I think that's because when you're chasing the Ursa, you hit the take aim and then it slows you down. Instead of staying on top of the Ursa, it didn't happen.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know why.
Learn that better.
Yeah. And then Tinker level 8, and then you're level 10, right? Pretty good timing. But again, how did we use the advantage? The Tinker never died in the lane. And the tower is actually pretty fine.
Didn't use it.
Yep, we didn't use it. And then now, since it's a Tinker with rearm and then missile, he's just harassing you. And then how can you sustain yourself? You have to go out. Maybe go back and then you purchase another range ops. Oh shit. It's actually 200 golds as well, man. I mean, sure, it's a good way to protect yourself, but it's not a real item for your farm.
During the game, I actually thought the Tinker was really fucking me up. Make it very clear that I wasn't actually playing to my advantage.
Yeah. 12 minutes into the game and then... Wait, what? What are you doing right now? Trying to push out, and then yeah, you're actually playing for the runes even though you're a sniper. You could have stacked the triangle, large camp and an ancient camp, and then farm it all together because you have the shrapnel. And then now you're going to rotate again. What about your farm? Your farm, you have to secure your farm. You're rotating too much. In which it's not actually the best design of the sniper. Because we're talking about sniper. Right? Sniper should be farming and scaling. And yeah, you're playing the sniper incorrectly. I'm sorry to say that, but it's kind of evident right now. In your playstyle, you want to rotate plot. You don't want to build up your advantage. I mean, if you're going to rotate, it's fun, but you have to ask yourself, what is the objective that you're going to have after this rotation? Right? What's the point of the rotation? If you're going to rotate to bottom and then win the fight and then get the tower, it's good. It's a good rotation. And then you manage to kill their cores. But if it's just rotation and then it's only a kill and then no objective, that's a bad rotation.
Okay.
Might as well use those times to further get the items of your hero because you're a core as well, right? You're not some sort of support or offlane that can or that wants to fight all the time. Look at the enemy, right? I mean, even the Tinker. The Tinker is just reacting and then cleaning up. He's not the one that is initiating those things. It's actually the other heroes, like maybe the Tidehunter, the Trent, maybe the Omni-Knight as well. It's never the Tinker going in because he wants to farm. Look at his farm now. 6k. And then if you're going to fight in here, the Tinker will show up as well later. But not right now. Right? Only later. If it's really needed. Right? And then you use a take aim again, you slow down yourself. And yeah, Tinker is not even needed, so Tinker is still farming. Pretty good for Tinker. I'm so happy if I'm the Tinker.
I should be doing the same thing that Tinker is doing right now.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I should be doing the same thing that Tinker is doing right now, just farming and ignoring all this.
Yeah. Because later on, now we're going to talk about the mid game, Copper, about your scaling, about your hero design, right? That's why I wanted to put more emphasis into the game planning. Like, remember what I mentioned earlier? You have to have a game plan with your lane because there will be limited heroes in your lane. Once you manage to have a game plan for your lane, it's going to be easy to have a game plan for the mid game to late game, which is 5 versus 5 already, right? So here in this game, I can see that there's only 2 or 3 heroes that can get on top of you. One of them is going to be Tinker, for sure, with the Blink Dagger. Maybe Ursa as well. Blink, Earth Shock, and then kill you off. Tidehunter as well. Blink, Ravage. Those 3 heroes are the only one that can kill you. Or threaten you, at least. Omni Knight will never go for Blink Dagger and then get on top of you because he is a support. The Trent can actually buy Blink Dagger just to get on top of you, right? That's how you're going to die in this lane. But it's not going to be simple because you have the Venomancer wards, you have the Monk King's command, like the ring, and you have the Grim and then the Rubik. So for counterplay. So the question is, how can you be so strong in the mid game? Like, what are the items that you're looking for? What are the targets that you're going to go for? And I want you to think about those ways. Like, how can you be unstoppable in this game?
Right, well, itemization I usually try to buy as much damage as I can get away with and protect myself. Like,
so what are those? In this game in particular? We have to think about
damage
in the game.
Damage items or the protection items?
Whole item choices. Whole item choice.
Full item choices, okay.
Massive Madness is good, for sure, because it will allow you to farm. So yeah, what do you think is the best item choices in this game?
I probably need the Dragon Lance to stay away from everything. I should get a BKB at some point. I have a Aghanim queued up so we can get some catch against Tinker, but that didn't really work out. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean the idea is actually good, but there's a lot of flaw with that build. If you're going to play Aghanim just to catch a Tinker, it's really flawed. How can you protect yourself if ever that they're going to kill you? BKB is a good choice, of course, but it's not going to be the your choice after the Dragonlance. I would say after Dragonlance, maybe Hurricane Pike, because as you can see in the draft, they have no stun aside from Ravage, right? Aside from Ravage, nothing else. So let's say the Ursa will get on top of you, like Blink in Earth Shock, slows you down, and then Hurricane Pike. The Ursa is now kited because he cannot get on top of you anymore, right?
okay.
So aside
What
from
about
that,
Shard?
Shard, that's a good item as well. Shard, the grenade, disarm, slow, right? And with damage as well. It's a good choice as well, the Shard. But the problem with Shard is it doesn't provide any stats. It doesn't provide mobility at all, right? But if we look at here with the Dragonlance and then Hurricane Pike, it gives you more than anything. I mean, not actually than anything, of course, but at least you can help your teammates if they are going to get killed, because it can be used to the ally, not just to the enemy or to yourself. It can help you kite the enemy, and that's the problem of the draft of the enemy. They don't have stuns, so that's one thing. Aside from that, aside from the Hurricane Pike, BKB is a good choice. The only problem of the BKB is the overgrowth on the Trend Protector, and then that's it. And then the physical damage of the Ursa. So you just need to get away from the Ursa. That's why Dragon Lance into Hurricane Pike is a good choice, or maybe just Force Staff. And then aside from that, you can go for Scabby as well for more kiting. If you want to go for damage, like Maelstrom maybe, or if you want to go for damage, you should go for MKB because the enemy has laser, right? And then they have the armor as well, like the living armor, and then the Heavenly Grace. So MKB is a good choice when it comes to doing damage. But yeah, technically, as long as you're alive in your copper, you can do damage. You can kite the enemy, and you can kill them. You don't need to win the fight like immediately. When it comes to your draft, you excel into prolonged team fight. You really do. So here, Ursa is on top. How can you kite this Ursa? See them? They cannot kill you. They cannot chase you all the way. And you need to get the Tinker and get out, and then the take aim again. Yeah. So yeah, copper. Itemization wise, I don't think Aghanims is a good idea in here because again, you're mid. You have a lot of catch and kiting potential. Naturally, you can scale in this game. But you have to solve the existing problems. One of the problems is going to be the Ravage and then this Ursa in particular. Tinker, it's another problem, of course. So you have to solve those problems on the enemy side. Hurricane Pike is actually a good way of solving those most of the problems in this game. Because they have Ravage, you can get out. Earth Shock, it's a slow, and then you just Force Staff out, and then he's just walking. It's not good against Tinker, of course. Force Staff is good against Omni Knight for sure, and then Trend Protector to get out. So when it comes to the itemization, you have to think about which one will solve the most issues in the game.
Yeah, I usually try to think about the items that way. It's really fucked up in this game.
When it comes to your itemization, you've mentioned that this is solely for Tinker, to catch the Tinker, right? That's why you went for Aghanims.
Yeah.
It's a good way that you want to stop this Tinker from doing whatever it wants. But of course, it's not just about the Tinker. It's 5 versus 5 game. The Tinker can be solved by the Monkey King, Grimstroke combo, maybe even with the Venomancer, or maybe even you later on once he presented himself. But you just need to scale first, and that's the problem. Double damage actually. You have Aegis as well. Get it. Maybe Manta style as well, but yeah, it's not good. Not good Manta style. Tinker actually loves to play against those kind of illusion-based heroes.
Because of the rockets? Or
missile and then laser.
What exactly?
Manta is good against overgrowths for sure, but that's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing that you can dispel, and then Gosh and then laser. Yeah. Maybe if you have BKB, you will not get half HP with those spells, but again, you guys are overcommitting. Okay, Aghanims in the north. Ta-da! You're dead.
Yeah.
And you're dead. So I think after this fight, I think you lost all of the advantage that you have.
Yeah.
What will happen in here in the upcoming minutes?
Radiant's middle tower has been
They're just gonna choke us out. Be limited to our top. Slow death.
Okay. Because you wasted your 4.2k to Aghanims instead of real items such as BKB or Force Staff.
Yeah. So if I had better items, you are the opinion that I could have done the same things, but they would go much better, right?
Yeah, much better. Because the purpose of itemization is to compensate for your weaknesses in your hero, or to
Right.
synergize with your strengths of your hero, right? So yeah, those are, and then yeah, they're dying. Ah, fuck, do you want to fight? It's GG. You're gonna fight these guys anymore. Unless you're going to play with the Vision and then Monk King's Command, and then you will freely attack them and then kill them. It can be in your advantage. So here at this point of the game, I think this is what we're talking about. That in the mid game, you're just going to rely to the enemy's mistakes and then win the game. I think this is the part of the game when it's going to start. Or maybe you did some sort of outplay on the enemy side.
Dyer's top
Not really.
Not really.
It's more of the same.
Yeah, I can see it too. You can even go for something like Silver Edge's Rope, which is good against the Tidehunter. And usually Tinker or Ursa don't want to buy detection, right? So maybe you can play with it. And then yeah, as you can see in there, Aghanims. Did it work out? No. It did not, because you don't do damage. You just run away. And then your teammates are dead. So yeah. The enemy must throw so hard for you to win this game. Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem I said I had with the mid game, it was basically this. So I guess it doesn't make any sense to ask what to do better now, because it's all like a result of what I did wrong.
Okay.
Do I have this right?
Yeah, technically, because we talk about the importance of the game planning in the beginning, right? And it's going to just snowball basically. So if you start the habit of making some game plan in the beginning, it will be transitioned to the mid game and to the late game, right? You just need to start thinking about the game, and it will naturally be like that, because that's the start of the that's the start of everything, man. Upper. Once you think about the early game, mid game is going to be easy. Late game is going to be easy. That's why I put a lot of emphasis to your early game,
Radiant's top tower is
where you're going to build up your advantage, where you're going to think about what you should play in the game, right? And yeah, once you start thinking the laning matchup, like the Tinker Sniper thing, in your lane, it's going to be easy for you to think about other heroes in the game. And also the checking items. So yeah.
Right?
Does that make sense? Or does that answer your question or your worry in the mid game or
Yeah.
into the game?
You answered many of my questions exactly.
Many? So that means not all of them? There are still some questions
No,
in your mind?
basically the most important ones.
Yeah. When it comes to my coaching, man, I am going to teach you how to fish. Like, tell you the things that you need to, or not actually tell you, but make you realize the things that is really essential to the game. And it will be useful all throughout your journey, man. All throughout. Not just in playing Sniper, not just playing in Ancient Bracket. Those soft skills that I've mentioned, it will be really helpful. So, yeah. I think we're all good. I mean, there's no
Yes.
more. Yeah, Sniper Ursa. TP out, maybe? Ah, you're dead. You're dead. You're just walking. You can actually TP out. Ah, I got bashed. Ah, okay. Maybe after you assassinate the guy and then you went to the high ground, just start TP. And then pray that there will be no bash in there. But yeah. Of course, we don't want to rely on luck when it comes to winning, right? I want to, or we, yeah, I want you to rely on your skills, your decision making, your thought processing to win the game altogether. So yeah, this game is really easy, and then we just failed to realize how strong or how easy it was until, you know, until here. And then Tinker is out of control. No one can kill the Tinker. And yeah, you don't have the item to protect yourself. BKB, there is the BKB, but against Ursa, who cares, right? He doesn't care about your BKB. GG. Alright, I think that's it for me, Copper, about this game. I don't see any value continuing this replay because you can only turn this game around if the enemy will throw real hard.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to outplay the enemy.
No, that doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
I guess we can end this section. Thank you
Any
for
more
all
questions?
your... Not really.
Not really. Okay.
You answered everything.
Alright. Yeah, don't forget to give me a feedback about the coaching session, and also get back to me after a few days. And then tell me if it's effective, if the games are a lot easier than it used to be. If your games, you're not a headless chicken anymore, you know? Because now that we talk about the importance of game planning, like decision making, I think you should start thinking about what will happen in the game, not just wait for them to make it happen. Because usually, if you're going to play reactive, usually you're late. Usually, you're going to lose the fight if you're going to react on it all the time. So yeah, GG man, Copper. I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate your sniper replay. And
I'm here. Thanks.
yeah, see you around and enjoy the weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you as well. Bye bye.
Bye.
So yeah, that's it.